Right. So,
Tangbang
yeah. So,
is attending a wedding. I think he might just be listening more. He might not
okay.
be able
No,
to participate fully.
no, that's quite okay. Sure, fine. So, thanks everyone again. So today we are having a presentation, more, and then some questions along the line on sort traditional titles and Liiwong. We already opened up at 4, and we had the first 15 minutes just on catching up and getting to know the people that are present. So definitely some of you who have not heard about in traditional titles um, uh, group here in Europe, we the main aim is mainly to unite and empower traditional title holders residing in Europe so that we can foster a strong sense of community, right? We agree that every organized set of people kind of operate in a much more better way. So that is the main reason. Then as a representative body for the traditional title holders in Europe, we work closely with the Nso Family Union Europe, which is our mother organization. And we're looking forward to contribute and support cultural events, festival, initiates, um, uh, anything that promotes our culture. And today, after the physical meeting in April, one of the main things we realize is there's a lot of need in education in this area. We have been living in the diaspora for so long. When we were all back in knowledge was easily transmitted orally. We were meeting in different jangi houses. But now out in the diaspora, this knowledge is no longer easily available and accessible as before. So that is where we realize the need to have such a presentation. And we are very happy to have one of uh, one of our members who is not our members, Fon Kong, joining us. Good afternoon, Fon Kong. Thanks for joining us. Early morning. It's still morning for you. Good afternoon. Right. Good morning to you.
Good afternoon to all Taa Mfoome Bati and to all the members present, especially the title holders in Europe.
Right.
I'm
Right.
more than happy to be part of this meeting today.
Great. So we're happy to have you, and maybe some of you may want to know who Fon Kong is. He's a medical doctor, Dr. Fai by profession. He's Taa Mfoome from America. Taa Mfoome Kiluun. He's the exec. Please just be on mute in case you're not talking, so that we don't have so much interferences. So he's also the executive director of the Northwest Fons Council in USA. He's the chair of the NSODA Cultural Initiative. He's the chair of Lavntir BFU Family Union USA, president of Kiluun Cultural and Development Association, president Yuwar Family USA. He's a Fon Ngang Nwerong Kiluun, Fon Ngang Mabu Kiluun, as well as Fon Kibarakoh Kiluun and Ndzeen. So Taantoh is as well as Taantoh Nwerong Kiluun. He has written a lot of articles in the area of tradition, and I think most of you, maybe without knowing, you have read some of his material along the line. He will be doing the presentation today, and this is going to be one of many presentations. The education on the Nso culture is a very huge area. So in our discussions, he's going to be doing the presentation, and at some points where necessary, if you have questions, I encourage that you can put them on chat. And when he's at the point to answer them, then we can put those questions to him, right? And if there are more questions that cannot be answered, then we'll carry them forward and then bring them back in our next setting. So I'm looking forward to active participation as well as engagement from everyone. And with that, I think Fon Kong is getting ready to maybe share his screen when he's ready to start the presentation for all of us. So Fon Kong, I'll allow when you are ready, just come in, please. Thank you.
All right. Let me start by greeting all the title holders who are here with us. And one thing I want to say is the Nso tradition is so much vast. It's huge. It's difficult to know everything. But the little that we know is not well shared because most of us didn't really grow up with our forefathers that can teach us many of those things. The presentation that I'm going to be doing today is specifically how things are done in Nso. I know the nuances in some of the palaces in Bui division, but Nso is one of the most structured, democratic, traditional palaces in the whole of Cameroon. And that's where I have focused most of my attention. Also, if you look at most of the palaces in Bui division, take the cues from what happened in Nso, and that is the reason that I've chosen to study it more in depth. As this presentation will take place today, I'm not here to attack any person or to make somebody feel bad, or I'm just going to present our Nso tradition the way it is. I'll present the old version, and at the same time, if necessary, I'll present the newer version of it, because some things have changed that were not present in our Nso tradition before. I'll present those key differences. And without taking much of the time, I will dive to what we have today for our presentation. I want us to look at the Nso traditional titleship and Liiwong today. Our next session we look at the Nso traditional caps, because sometimes these titles goes alongside with caps, and which title goes with which caps sometimes is a challenge. If I say something, don't really take it personal. I'm just going to say it the way I have learned. And I'm somebody that I did not just grow up learning this thing from people. I'm really immersed. I'm part of how things happen a lot traditionally in Nso. The first section that I want us to take a look at will be the Shufai ship, the Shufai title ship. Well, we're looking at it. There are lots of Shufais now in Nso than how they were before. But us in this forum, I want us to take key of the 7 Vibai of Nso. Regardless of what is happening, these are still like the key members of the highest echelon of the Shufai ship. We have the Shufai Ndzeen. This was the first Shufai to be part of the Nso. Shufai Tankum was the second Shufai to be part of Nso. Shufai Lun Ikimbo was the third. So originally, these were the 3 Shufais that were part of the Nso traditional dynasty. Then after that, we have the Shufai Ndzeen, Shufai Yuwar, Shufai Shuf, and Shufai Wainsari. But this is the very old classification from our Covifem. This is not more the new classification. Because of the fight for power, Shufai Lun has been pushed to number 6 place. So Shufai Lun is no more the 3rd as it was in Covifem. And things changed. Those are what I'm saying. This is the newer version of the classification. But what I've written here is the old version of the classification at Covifem. And regardless of what, if any Shufai is an honorary Shufai or from any compound, they should never fight to sit any of these Shufais on their right side, because that's what our tradition says. The other place that I want us to look at is after this, we have the Shufai, the Bible. Those are the Shufai that takes place in the burial of the Fon. And how did this Shufai become, or how did this Shufai came? We have Shufai Bashun is the first, Shufai Kongir, Shufai Zam, Ndzeen of Kintintin, Shubui, Inyamnyoy, and Ramkui, and Tawai. So these are the Shufai that takes the lead in the burial of the Fon. How did these people achieve their Shufai? They were not given. There are 5 Tawong, who were the people burying the Fons. when they died, these Shufai were enthroned. And because their 5 Tawong are the key people in the traditional sacrifices, that is how these compounds get to be the main people who are in charge of burying the Fon, because they are the successors of the Afai Tawong in Ton. So this might be a lot different from other palaces. Then after that, those titleship, the next class that we have is a Afai Tawong. The way the Afai Tawong works is when a Fon is enthroned, the Fon will choose a Afai Tawong, the Fon will choose a Yuwar, and if the Fon's mother is alive, that mother will be Yuwar. If the Fon mother has passed, the Fon will look for one of the daughters, his own daughter or the daughter of the family, and name that as Shungai. Then that person now become, those are the three in so. So once the Fon is enthroned, the Fon must come along with all these three peoples. And among all these three that I have maintained, the senior high priest is the Afai Tawong. The senior high princess who officiates in the sacrifice with Afai Tawong is the Yuwar. Shungai is just like the successor of the Fon's mother. Shungais typically they don't have any sacrifice to perform in Ton. So this is very much different in other palaces. In other palaces, so when the Fon is on throne, they don't put new Afai Tawong, Yuwar. In most palaces, it doesn't happen. The of other palaces, Tawong of other palaces, they remain, but this is how it's set up in Ton. So then, in addition to this, we have the Nwerong on the Afai who are in charge of upkeeps of the Nwerong compound. We have Afai Mamo, Fanjang, Bingi, Tsenkar, Afai Kuinto. We have Nsone as the last. These are the people that are in charge of the upkeeps of the Fon. These are the Afai the Taantoh Fon. These are the first 7. If anything happens in the palace or you go to the palace, these are the people that you go to. These are the go-to people if you want to see the Fon. And all of them are not Dui, they are Chelaf, which means that they belong to the Nwerong call of the Nso tradition. And before 1933, there was nothing in sort of like Shufai. Everybody, all the other people, Bibai that I mentioned before, they were going by Afai. We had, when I was growing, we were Afai Yuwar, Afai. That's why when you read most of the old books, they don't call them Shufai. This appellation came back recently after the Shufai wanted to make their distinction from the Afai, but before everybody was Afai. The only key difference that you could know a Taantoh, a Afai who is a Taantoh, different from a Afai who is a Kibarakoh Fon, was just in terms of their wives, because the wives of a Shufai, they don't wear cowries. They wear the normal buttons that we use in clothes in their hands. The Fon wives wear cowries. If you see a Wiba that was wearing a cow, mbasi, then you know that that is a Wiba from the Bibai linear. If you see one without the cowries, you know that that's a Wiba from Taantoh. That was the major differences, but now there's differences in appellation, where there's a different in a Afai and a different in a Shufai. And this thing has not really helped us much, because now we have come to a situation when if somebody is made a Afai today, tomorrow they want to change the title to a Shufai, where there's this power tussle of who is who. But one thing I want to make clear here is your title is going to not depending on whether you are a Shufai or a Afai, it depends on how you use that title. If you are made a Afai or a Shufai and you don't use your title very, very well to build your community, you are not going to deserve respect. And if you take this title and you want the community or the community where you belong to respect you, and you are not offering much that the community is seeing that they are benefiting from you, you are just going to sometimes force people to respect you. But once you use your title to give back that community, that is how you gain respect. And for most of the people that are new title holders, I always encourage them, once the fund has given you a title, call your community and present that title to your community. This is what the fund has given to me. Then the community will know that, okay, we have a shoe fire here, we have a fire here, we have a Mfoome here, we have a yard here. Once the fund give you this title and you don't call your community to present this title to them, how do you expect some of them to know if they see you tomorrow and address you wrongly? So that's one thing I encourage all of us to be doing. Then we have another class now of the five. There are so many fives and shoe fives who are the family heads. Even if the fund has given you a five or a shoe five as an honorary title, you are not the family head of from where you come from. You still have a five or shoe five of your big compound that if you wanted to perform Ntangri, you have to go to that particular five or shoe five to perform Ntangri on your behalf. You cannot perform your own Ntangri because the fund has made you a shoe five. Most of these shoe five, they have what they call show. Akita akane woni akfun la fofi akita away show akfun men la hadu way show awa yena nyo baby drabi o gan dra mo aje jangshu fa yo ben la dra yeji and you baby you agani, they will call you that you might have, you need some sacrifices to perform. Then you have to go back to your compound where you come from to perform these sacrifices. And if you are a fire or shoe fire, or for example, if you are a fire and you go back to your big compound that you have a fire there, don't fear that you are going, because the fund gave you a shoe fire, you are going to challenge that fire because you think that the shoe fire is bigger than the fire. That's not true. If the fund made you a shoe fire and you made a fire mammo, don't think that because you are being called a shoe fire, you are more than a fire mammo. That's not true. If the fund made you a shoe fire and you go to a big, you have the fire of your big compound that perform Dangri on behalf of the family, despite the fact that you are a shoe fire, you are still under that shoe fire of your big compound. Because in the true sense of it, if regardless of what titles the funds give you, if you are maternal father, that's the shoe fire or fire from your mother's compound, says that they don't acknowledge that title will never be fully satisfied. You will, even regardless of what you do, you can never take it to your maternal father's compound, mother's compound. It become a very big issue for you. So my advice to all the title holder is, once you are given the title, don't go calling the shoe fire or fire of your father's compound. Go to where your mother shoe fire or fire is and let them know that this is what the fund has given to you. Nowadays, most of them, they are much welcoming because they also want growth in their family. If the fund give you a title and you have not been talking to your the fire or shoe fire from your mother's compound, that is the first time for you to, or this is the best time for you to establish that friendship, because that's the person that will be taking care of your back. And with that, I will go now to where most of our shoe fire and fire titles falls. These are called the honorary shoe fire or shoe fire Mbume, which means that you did something to a particular fund and the fund cherished what you did, and they decided to award you or to knight you with the title of a shoe fire. These awards titles have different ways that they come. If regardless of what, when the fund has made somebody a shoe fire or a fire, that community must respect that person as such. At the same time, the shoe fire or the fire must respect themselves so much to demonstrate to the community what our Nso tradition is. At the same time, if the fund has knighted you as a fire or shoe fire, you must present that your title to the community where you are going to belong. Because if the fund make you an honorary shoe fire, you don't have a big compound that you are going to be ruling. Your big compound becomes your own community where you reside. So you have to do your best to be part of that community, because those are the people that will give you the respect that you deserve. And this same thing goes for the honorary fire. It's the same thing. And one thing that I want to beg all of us here is, if the fund make you fire, don't fear that your title is small. the way your title is going to be important to the community where you belong will depend on how you use it. Don't go the next day and you try to change nada, or Shufai is small, I have to change this to a Shufai. That's not true. Your title will be more important to you and to your family and to your community, depending on how you use that title within the community that you belong. And with this, this will end the short presentation over Shufai. In order to not really take too much of the time, I will plead with everybody to send their questions on the forum. Former Batty will write those questions down. At the end of the presentation, we are going to address those questions, because I know that this section of Shufai has really been a major place where there's a lot of confusion. And I hope the way I presented this makes it a little bit clearer to some of us. And if you are an honorary Shufai, if you made a Shufai that is a lineal head of a particular family, don't fight for placement with them. Know that your place is after they sit, you sit. If you are made a Shufai today or a fight today, and there is somebody in the community that has been a Shufai before you, that Shufai become your senior Shufai. Don't go trying like, oh, I'm also a Shufai like you. No, yes, you are also a Shufai like that particular person, but that person is above you because of seniority. If two people are made a Shufai in one day, on a particular date, you have this Shufai ship, then the question will be, we are given the Shufai in the same month. Why do you say I'm senior? In that case, you have to respect the person who is senior in age with you. If you are given the Shufai on that particular day at the same time, the person who is senior in age with you, you must give them the respect. Because if we look at the way our society is going, there's too much fighting. There's too much fighting. And if when we hear about Nwerong trying to address most of these things, it's because of the fighting. And a lot of these fightings are being promulgated by social media. And as title holders, in order to gain respect from the community, observe more, say less. Say less, because what you say, a lot of people will listen to it. And if you don't know, ask. Because if you go ahead saying the wrong thing, most people will say, this particular Shufai have said this particular Mfoome have said this Fai have said this Ya have said this Shay have said this, and it will be like a gospel truth. But it's incumbent on us to know how things are done so that our society can respect us. All right. With that,
yeah. Sorry, Fon Kong. I think I know you said we should have questions at the end, but maybe since you have touched the area of greeting, the area of how to sit, and I see some questions coming in. Maybe if you can just answer that question, like you have the there are fives and the Shufais. How should they sit, right? Who should sit on the left? Who should sit on the right? And also there is the question of how should the fives and the Shufais be greeted? If you answer these two questions, I think that's okay. Then we can move to the next section. The other points that have been mentioned, we'll come back to them for everyone. So thanks, Fon Kong.
Okay. Let us say that the ways who be a Shufai, it means that you are awake by phone. You might not have a particular seat in the palace where you can go and sit, but in the community, you are going to have a seat. If you are a Fai in the community, you are going to have a seat. Generally, the way most of our community now looks is if Shufai will sit, then the Fai will sit. I know where they're taking these cues. This cue is coming from those 7 we buy Shufai of in terms of Yuwar. They are looking at that, then they are looking at it at Taantoh Nwerong, because in terms of we buy every phone, we always sit first before Taantoh. So if you have a Shufai in the community and you have a Fai, it's always good that the Shufai will sit, then the Fai will sit after. If you have 2 Shufais there, the one who was in senior, who was the Shufai before you, and you are getting your own Shufai later on, you always respect people who were there before you. I hope this probably answers that question. And how do you grade a Fai and a Shufai? the greetings differ so much, but in the terms of the Bible, from those 7 Bibai and Taantoh, when you come to our community, how do you, an honorary Shufai and an honorary Fai, you just greet them the same, because these are honorary titles. Some I've seen the places where in a lot of places where a Shufai is fighting that you have to greet me the way you greet Shufai. That's probably not true. If they're greeting you like that, what makes the difference? There's a difference between an honorary Shufai and a Shufai. There's a big difference between an honorary Shufai and a Shufai Loon, a Shufai Yuwar. All those, there are differences. They have particular way that they greet them. And the way you greet them in, that's, you are saying that to those Shufai. If you made the honorary Shufai, typically the way, because it's not long that they started creating these honorary title holders. One of the earliest title holders to be created in so was Shufai Tonjov, Dr. Ben Fonlon. He's probably around the 1950s. So if I don't want us to really labor too much on how these people greet. They will greet you the way they greet Shufai. That's very okay. That's still very okay. But one of the things that I want to beg for us is we have to really respect all these title holders. But at the same time, for us as title holder, you will have to show respect in order to earn respect from the community where you belong. You can have a linear head. Even your linear head or the father or the chauffeur of your compound decide that they are not going to show respect. There's no way that you go back to that compound and not respect them. I don't know if this helped answer the question or not.
It did, Fon Kong. You can continue. For the other questions, we'll come back to them.
We'll come back to them. And
right.
You, in our community, they are the highest female title holders, because we don't have a fund in our community that is a year. There's one time that I met with one lady from Kenya here. She told me that she was a fund in Kenya, and it was really very strange for me, because in our own community where we come from, the title of the fund is reserved for the males, not for the women. But in the terms of so where I'm taking most of this cue from, Yang Nso being the founder of the Nso dynasty, that legacy of hers, she's still the highest female title holder in Nso, because she's the one who founded the Nso clan. After that, if the phone is enthroned and the mother is still alive, that mother becomes Yaye phone. And that the mother of the phone has a special seat, has a special bed, and that the mother of the phone becomes the highest title holder in that particular palace. And it automatically become a year. It's the only person that can call the phone to order, can score the phone, because that is the mother. So that space is given to the phone. If we are looking around, this title of your phone, some fondoms or some funds have taken it to be like, oh, this is going to be an honorary title. But in my own way of looking at it, once you go ahead and you are calling yourself a fund, somebody who, if somebody asks you that, who are you the mother of which fund, you probably will not really answer that question. It will be like somebody is challenging you. Then if the fund is enthroned in so and the mother have died, or even the mother passed away, then the successor of that mother become a shungai or a fengai. Shungai or fungai. Some of these shungai, they think that the shungai title is smaller. Then they will go ahead and be calling themselves Yefon, who is supposed to be the title reserved for the mother of that particular phone if the mother was alive. This is a question of debate, but it just depends on how you want it. In terms of, you will see after Yuwar, you have shungai. But there's only one shungai in terms of that have, I don't know, because it has that particular position. It's a shungai of Dine. And that position was given to her by the father when she was delivered in 1972. Still as a baby, the father gave her the Taantoh Nwerong, the Tangiri, and gave her the pang. And this was kind of like a strange thing in that time, because No female Nso before then has ever put a Tangiri or Taantoh Nwerong. When she was growing up as a child, the father, after the father sits, the father will take her and she will sit beside the father. So now, when she was growing up, a place was created for her where after Shufai Ndzeen, we have Shufai a Taantoh. Then we have Shufai and Ndzeen. Then she will sit number 4. So in turn, so she sits at the 4th position, but no other Shungai sit at that place. We mean as a particular position that was created for her just by the father. But if we are looking at the old way that the Nso tradition used to work, after a year Fon, it was Yuwar. Before she was born, Yuwar is have more power. She offices in sacrifices, and she does a lot of, if the Fon cannot go to perform any sacrifice, they send Yuwar and Taa. These are the people that are officiate in terms of sacrifices. The Shungais are just for administrative purpose. They can give advice if needed, or they can listen. That's the major thing that they do for the palaces. Then you have like in terms of the young Koknen, who are just the young Koknen becomes the that is in charge of all the Fons wife. You have Yesum become the who's in charge of the Fons farm. But if we are coming to some of these compounds, like we talk of Ndzeen, there's a Yawon Ndzeen. If we are coming to Yuwar, there's a Yawo Yuwar. These are the that help these Shufai in performing the sacrifices in those particular big compounds. And when we are coming to the 5, a lot of big compounds so which are the 5 have their own ayah of that compound. And if some of these ayah, they don't belong to big compound, but they are successors. If a Shungai dies, the successor of the Shungai is not going to be a Shungai again. It's going to be a Yah. Like we have the Yah Wo Bari in Jakiri was a successor of the Shungai. So if the Shungai dies, it becomes a Yah of those places. And if a Yuwar dies, the successor of Yuwar in turn, so it's never going to be a Yuwar again. It's just going to be a Yah of that particular environment. Then we have the Ayambomi, and this is like the Ashufai and Afambomi. That's where most of this thing is coming into play. Where some of the time the phone will say Yawo Bear, and the person come and feel that the phone call me Yawo Bear doesn't mean that I belong to the farm. I'm going to change it to Yewong or Yawonde. Or the phone say that Yawo America, the 4 or 5 times that title changed now, like, no, you're going to call me Yawo America, I'm going to be the Yewong of America. And when you call yourself a Yewong and you have never been to the farm is a graveyard of the farm. Many people will respect you, but you know, people who knows tradition will question what my take-home message is. Let us stick to the titles that the funds are giving us, but use your title to make an impact in your environment or in your location, and that is how you are going to gain the respect that you deserve. This presentation is not geared at a particular person. I see a lot of what is going on, and as a cultural chair of NSODA, I deal with a lot of these issues, and that's why I choose to present this as here in the United States. I think the ball game is different because that fighting is there a lot, and this is how we are going to look. If you are, one thing I want to say, in the terms of our tradition and institution, the fund can make you a Shufai as an honorary title. If that Shufai passes or dies and has a successor of that Shufai, the successor in the community going to now have more powers than the person who was an honorary Shufai. The successor of that person is no more an honorary Shufai. It becomes what we call in our village Ekune, because he's already a successor of a Shufai. What makes the Shufais more powerful is the ability for you to put a stone on the graveyard of your successor. That gives you more power. If you are a Shufai and you have never put a stone my young yak fiasai shufai, then you are still kind of like an honorary shufai. This what makes a Yuwar more powerful is the ability for them to officiate in palace sacrifices. If you are just calling yourself a Yuwar and you are not officiating in any of those sacrifices, how does that benefit you? Or if in some places, like I said, in the United States here, we have Fons here. I'm the executive director of the Northwest Fons Council. There are Fons here in council that they are not from Nso, but they are seeing the test for all these traditional titles. They honor people with Yuwar, they honor people with Fon. And if you question them, their authority, their assumption is that the Fon cannot be questioned. I always ask them, how do you go ahead giving titles that are not from your particular fondom? And that is what is causing a lot of these problems in the society where we are living. There are a lot of Yuwars here that have been given by Fons that even you go to their fondom, they don't have Yuwar. There are a lot of Yuwars here that have been given by Fons that are with me in the Fons Council, that if you go to that particular fondom, they are not Yuwar there. Unfortunately, some of our funds are the cause of our traditional breakdown. And people without a tradition simply means that they just exist for existing sake. And if we are holding this conversation today, is because we want to uphold our traditional values and culture. And with that, I will end on this section of and if you have your questions, you can tell us them for Europe. Some of them that we can try to answer. Then we can answer now before we go to the general question and answer session.
Yes, there is a question that came early again on sitting. Is there a sitting positions for as well? Maybe you can tie that when talking about the sitting position. Once you answer that on then the other point was, I think as you go along, you'll be able to also give the differences between the fives, the shares and formies, as well as the years. I allow that as you are going with the discussions, the person who asked that question will be able to see those differences. But the first one that really matters is the sitting position, and then the other one is, how does an honorary FI talk to a family head FI? And the other one is a difference between a Shufai who is family head and a senior Shufai in the palace. I think those are differences. Maybe you start with the sitting position with I'll remind you of the others.
Let me say this. Sometimes in the society where we are all in the Western society, if you are coming to a place and people are sitting and you are standing up because you want a particular person to get up for you to sit, it looks kind of odd in the society where we belong. We mean that if there was a section reserved for title holders, my advice to all the title holders, if you come and they put your position, just sit you there. Don't start standing up because you want a particular person to stand up for you to sit. Or don't say that this person will not sit on my right, because if this particular sits on my right, it means that they are more than me. Probably not. They are all honorary title holders. But if you are sitting in that place and Kibai, let's say, should find themselves happen to come, we are not going to also expect them to toe that same line. Or if you were sitting in that place as a Shufai, honorary Shufai, and you have the Shufai of your big compound in so visiting you, you probably, some of them, you ask them to toe a line, they might be difficult because these are family heads. Family heads have a lot of difficulties toeing the line. But if you are a or a Fai or a Shufai, and you are not a family head, to me, this sitting position does not really matter that much. Where you sit, just make yourself comfortable. Especially we are in the Western society. If we start promoting that anytime this particular person comes, then there's going to be adjustment where people have to move. If you are a senior Shufai, my advice is always good for you to come early so that you can pick the seat that best suits you. If you come late, unfortunately, a lot of people will not also accept to really start getting up for you to sit. And there's another, I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, I think just to tie on that, I think if people then, as you say, if people arrive early on an occasion, which is then traditional title holders to lead the way, if they arrive early, then they can easily sort that sit-in. Let's say if they arrive early, then maybe is it the shofars that will sit, then in that order, maybe that question was to have an idea of
Yes.
if that happens, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the shofars will sit. And the yams will sit. The yams will sit. But it does not mean that you cannot have a shofar sit, then the yah sit, then another shofar sit. It does not necessarily mean like that. Yeah, that should be, because what I always say is, as we are in the Western world, we should be more tolerant of the way we do stuff.
Okay. Thank you for that. And I think the emphasis again has been more on what you do to the community will give you that respect than maybe where you sit as well. The next question was the difference in greetings between a shofar who is family head and a senior shofar in the palace. Is there a difference?
Yeah, there's a difference. There's a big difference.
Okay.
There's a way that if there is the servant lord, they will buy the phone. If you made any of the shofar and you do this, I think they are going to find a lot of people sitting there will look at it to be just very, 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 very odd. You have to greet them. You have to carve your two hands before you greet them, because these are the buy the phone. If you made a Tao Mamo, and even you say they will understand those are at Taantoh. If you made a shofar that is an honorary shofar, even you say or you say they should be able to understand that these are just titles that have been honored to them. If you made, the only thing is that you cannot make a shofar 5 or yeah, and you start say, I can win a shay, and I win a 5, I don't know if yeah, then I thought those are discussion that is going to be only between the shofars and among themselves. You as a shay, you cannot just make a shofar in so long and be like, down so long a winner. I don't know if yeah, aligning for you. No, that's not. That just shows some sort of disrespect. Or you made yeah or Europe and you say yeah Europe we winner. La confirm we let for a fair. I don't know. No, that's not the way it works. The more emphasis is going to be the way you communicate with them. Communicating to this shofar who is a linear head, or the communication is not different. You address all of them in a third person plural.
Great. Okay. Thank you very much. You can continue the other questions. The answers will definitely come. I think they can be answered straight with a text message so that we maybe go and catch up on time. I know it's a Sunday evening for others. So let's give Fon Kong the opportunity to continue as, it's also a tight schedule for him. So continue, Fon Kong. Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to move to the share title holders. These share title holders, some of the people in society feel that share are very, very low. They are not. If you are a share and you respect yourself so much in the society, you are going to get a lot of respect. We have the first class will be the share of the Taantoh lineage. If you have a share who's Taantoh, who could have equally been a Fon, if their compound grows so much, they can assume their shareship without even the Fon making them a share. And you are going to have to greet them like in third person plural. You greet them the way you greet a shofar. Before the Fon Bingo was made a Fon, he was a share or mantu. You could not see him and start talking to them in first person singular. It will not work. So there's a Shea Bosco who's a town ngiri, so he's probably the most senior town ngiri in so now, and he's a prince from so, and this is probably one of the first prince from so to ever be made a Shinto to be a town ngiri. So you give them the respect that they deserve. Then in all, like I was saying before, in all these big compounds, what I mean that in all these linear heads, we always have the Shea who helps the shofar in the Tangri. They are called Angaiwir, Vela Fofe. In addition, you have the ayahs of those compounds that will help the Shufai of that compound, because the Shufai cannot do everything alone. And you are going to address them in third person plural, but you are not going to greet them. You will never see a guy where you start no, that's probably not. You have to just use your one hand when you are talking to the guy. That makes a big difference between a guy and a Shufai or a Fai of that compound. The guy will you use your one hand to greet them, but you are going to talk to all of them in third person plural. Then you also have the next class is the sheikhs who have been Ndzeen, where the sheikh who have Shinto. We have the sheikh who have Shinto. Taa Mfoome, we have those types of sheikh. Those are bigger than Ndzeen and Nwerong. So if one of the things I always encourage, especially the male title holder, if they make you as a Fai or a Shufai, of the Fon honor you as a Fai or a Shufai, in order to increase the gallon, they make yourself more valuable in society. Go ahead and perform the sacrifice to be Ngangiri or Ngang Mabu, depending on which particular cause that belongs. And that's one way that is going to make you more valuable culturally. And once you do most of these things, that's when you are going to learn a lot. Then there's another class now. If you see the presentation, I'm bringing the honorary title holders last, because these are of a new creation, and in terms of our organigram, the honorary title holders always come last. The share title holders that are being honored by the fund come last. If the fund have made you a share, you will not go to or say asking people, you have to address me by third person plural, because the share one guy will all laugh at that they are addressing after winner. Then if you are a share, you are going to be you are going to spell like you have to address me the same. No, even guy with all you cannot see them and start greeting, sending your hand. They are not going to accept. If the fund made you a share and you say, I'm not going to start taking hands from people, people look at you like you probably have a title that you don't like. If you don't want to start taking hands from people, go ahead and have you made as a Fai or a Shufai or a so that traditionally people will not be sending hands to greet you, for those who know our tradition. So, and I will end here, get some few questions, then we'll proceed.
Right. I think there was a question from Shufai Professor Dr. Daniel, and he wanted more. He would appreciate if you explain more on the issue of greetings with the hand and wearing the cap. I know that you are coming on the caps later, but the greetings, maybe you need to add something for more clarification. Yeah, the issue of greetings with the hand and wearing the cap.
All right. The Nso, from what I know, the class, you are not going to see a Fai or Shufai and you start sending yourself or your hands to greet them. But the Shufai and the Fai will meet and they will greet each other. Right? You are not going to see a Ya and you start sending your hands to greet them. But a Ngaiwirola, you are not going to see them and you start sending your hands to greet them. But like I was saying, if you are a Shufai or a Shei, and you become a Ngang Mabu, you have more powers than most ordinary than most Mfoome title holders. Because even if the funds ever pass or disappear, in Ngang Mabu, you will never see them without a cap. Those are the only people that, regardless in one palace, they will never see the top. When you become the top portion of their head, you will never see it. But everybody some will remove caps. But if you buy the phone, we never remove their caps. But you, as an honorary title holder, you must have to remove their cap if you choose to go to that particular palace where the burial of the phone is taking place. So apart from this class of Shufai, the Fai, Aya, the senior Sheikh Wanto, who have already assume that share with a big compound, and a lot of them assume that title too. They are also Ngang Nwerong Kiluun. Those are the share of big compounds that officiate in terms of in sacrifices with the fire of that linear, with the linear head. You cannot greet them with their hands. One of the reasons that people in Nso tradition of people not greeting all these title holders with their hands was for purity. When you officiate in certain sacrifices, you are not supposed to, once you go ahead greeting people, you are going to greet somebody with bad luck and the sacrifice that you officiate. Our ancestors might not be able to welcome it. That's how the issue of not greeting people with hands started. I don't know if this makes a little bit clearer.
Yeah, hopefully. Please bring your questions if it's not clear. I see 5 billion asking me again. We're in the Western world. Just last question, then we'll move. Am I allowed to give hawks to greet and sort people? That is 5 billion.
No,
yeah.
As a chauffeur, you are not allowed to start just meeting and hawking people, because one thing I always advise most of this title, don't start something that the society will start looking like you don't know what to do. Once you are chauffeur and you come to a place, you just stand. People will come, curve their hands and greet you. That's like a winner. Or if you want to be the one to initiate the greetings, you just say, "Abai benkisifoi," and then the people will come now and start and greet you. If you go there and you start just hawking people or hawking everybody that you see, a lot of the time people, people are going to take you to be more of a very lenient person, and the respect that's supposed to be given to you will probably disappear. Before you realize, some of them will just start calling you by your name, or some of them might just start talking to you as if though you were their friends, until somebody speaks like that and you get angry, but you are the one who created that probably without knowing. It does not mean that if somebody visits you in their private homes, you can do whatever you want to do with that person. It depends on you. What you do in private should not be taken in public. If you meet your friend and you're chauffeur and all of you always joke and you go back to your primary school and you greet each other and you smile and you do what in your private home, just always caution your friend, this joke that we are joking is in private, don't take it to the public. Like some of us that even we associate with Fons so much, you can talk with the phone like a one-on-one basis and play with them, but don't just take that play with that particular phone from a private setting to a public setting. You take that play from the private setting to the public setting, you are disrespecting the phone, or you are disrespecting the chauffeur. The chauffeur might not care, but the community might look at it to be something very different. So that's what I can say about that.
No, thank you very much. I think that's well answered. We can carry on. Fon Kong.
Okay.
Thank you.
The next set of titles is the military titleship. And the question that most people are always going to, because there is the civilian titleship, that's what I presented first. Then this one is the military titleship, because so had a lot of people that were involved in wars. But unfortunately, that is not, we are no more involved in wars. The Mfoome was the highest military titleship. This is the general that can command the people to go to war. And if they were going to war and the Mfoome remains behind, that's the end of your titleship. How do you go ahead comparing Mfoome to a chauffeur? Like many people will always nowadays want us to do that. There are certain ways, so many, you cannot compare most of these things. You cannot, I don't know if I got disconnected because somebody was calling me.
No, we can hear you very well. Yeah.
What about the presentation? Can you see the presentation?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So like we have former Europe is there. It's the highest military titles over there. Should you see them forming Europe and you know how to greet him? You greet him Taa Mfoome Kiluun. The wife of Taa Mfoome is not going to be we bar, like there's a lot of in the olden days, if the fund makes somebody a chauffeur, give you an honorary title chauffeur, your wife was not supposed to be a wiba because that was an honorary title. But nowadays, because most of our honorary title holders are picking up the cues from this Vibai fund. Once the fund make them a honorary shufai, their wives, they automatically become they're calling them a Wiba. Well, that's one thing that have changed. And if we are accepting that that's the way it's going to be, that's the way it's been now. The only difference that I've been emphasizing into all this Wiba is there are certain types of things that you start going traditionally and you are doing because you see the Kiba of this big compound doing. It can really, it doesn't really speak well. At the same time, all this thing comes with a lock. You go, your husband is taking Mbasi, and you start putting it in your hand, you're like, oh, this Mbasi will buy, and therefore, yes, you might think that it doesn't really make you a difference, but if the Wikiba of your family head, they are angry with you for doing that, you see a lot of your stuff going the way you don't want it to go. And the question is, why are these things always happening to me? It's because you are the one taking yourself and looking for your trouble. I've been around this place for a very long time. I cannot count the number of shufai that started wearing this tarafon, these porcupines in their head. And I called them. And I said, this thing you are doing is not going to suit well with you. You might see it because we are in these Fons councils and the Fons are wearing it. The Fon also never gave you they said there's modernity, we can do what we want to do. And a lot of them were not from so. But unfortunately, as the world is so big, most of these people, they are dead. No, 3 of them, they died. Nobody knows. They didn't die from that, but you do certain things traditionally, it can catch up with you. And there was a yard too that was doing the same. I spoke to her. I became the enemy. It didn't take long. They died. How do you? That's the way that people have respected the sort of tradition is of this issue of mom yen, tanataf. If people were trying a lot of our sort of tradition and there was no consequences, I don't think that that respect would have been there. But my plea to everybody is stay on your lane and just know that your community will be the one to respect you. It's not because you are wearing a Taantoh Nwerong or a Tangiri that you are going to get respected. No, it's what you are doing for your community where you belong that you will have the respect that you deserve. And I was talking about, you cannot go and say, oh, the Mfoome now, who will be Mfoome and the shufai who is more. There's no way that you can compare these title holders. You can only compare them beside themselves. You know that if there's Mfoome somewhere, it's always more than the Taantoh, it's always more than the Ngbang, it's always more than the Nyang and all those types of things. And if you are Mfoome and you have a Mahjong, we mean that you have people that you command. That's how it gives, if you are commanding a group, it gives you more power versus somebody who is not commanding a group. And that is what I can say. This is probably a no-brainer. I don't see most of this fight in the military titleship as it is with the civilian titleship. There's more fighting within the civilian titleship than the military titleship. And that is probably going to be where we will end this presentation for today. And a lot of people are asking questions about the sort traditional caps. It's a big issue and a big topic on its own. My plea will be, if time permits for us to meet next time, let us try to see if we can have a meeting next time to discuss on this and see which cap goes with what, right? Before the Tangiri and the Taantoh Nwerong, those are your return you every day now you see somebody, they want to be a shufai, they want to be like, I'm going to wear a Tangiri. Those are not the caps of the shufai. So what makes somebody a shufai or a fai is not the cap that they are wearing. I emphasize, it's going to just be the way you carry yourself in your community, especially if you are an honorary title holder. And with that, we probably just go to the question and answer session.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Before we go to general questions and answers, I encourage everyone to bring more questions, and if we'll also give the opportunities for people to come up and talk. I think that would be good. But before we move to that area, while everyone is getting ready, you may need to raise your hand up so that I know who to start with. But do you want to give a difference between in the area of Mfoome? I think we also need to know the difference of, like, we no longer go to war, as you say, but when you have Mfoome and Mfoome, is that the two Mfoomes that command the major? Maybe you want to touch on that.
Yeah, like I was saying, we have Mfoome Ba and Mfoome Gam.
Right.
Mfoome Gam is from the Nwerong court, Ba is from the Ngiri. And if you have a Shea, Ngangiri and Ngang, the Shea who is in Ngang Mabu is always going to be of a higher position than the Shea who is of the Ngangiri. If you have Mfoome Gam who is of the Nwerong and Mfoome Ba who is Ngiri, that's why in any place, the Mfoome Gam is always going to be the first person to talk before the Mfoome Ba can talk. And even the Mfoome Gam talks, the Mfoome Ba does not need to talk again, because Nwerong is if you are in Ngang Mabu, you belong to the Nwerong court. They are the owners of the land, and they are the voice of the voiceless. They are the people who take major decision in the land. So that is probably the major differences. But the Mfoome Ba and Mfoome Gam is only in Nton. So other palaces don't have that type of Mfoome Gam and Mfoome Ba. Like Kiluun does not have Mfoome Ba and Mfoome Gam, they have Mfoome Kiluun. The only reason, like myself, that I was made a Fon Kong is because when the late Fon Kiluun was, I see go to Nwerong compound, I go to Ngiri compound. I'm probably the only person who's informed that goes to vote the non-formal inside, so that become a member of Nwerong and a member of Ngiri. And that is probably where my titles of Fon Kong started. And I go, yes, that with that wish, it will not in car. The informing car does not go to Ngiri, doesn't go to Nwerong. In turn, so Mfoome Ba goes to Nwerong, Mfoome Gam goes to Nwerong, Mfoome Ba goes to Ngiri. And I think, and probably I'm the first Mfoome to ever be in Ngang Nwerong. So there's nobody who puts a feather in their heart that has ever been in Ngang Nwerong. So it doesn't really happen. So you see, probably I think that exception was made because of the title of Fon Kong, because without which I doubt if they would have made that exception for me.
Okay. I think since you were talking about yourself, the question of Fon Kong title, maybe you want to explain that. I see that's a question coming in before I come to the other questions. Maybe you want to throw more light on the title Fon Kong, or is it,
like I was mentioning before, my first title was Mfoome Wa. That's I was not like an honorary Mfoome or honorary Mfoome like anybody we have. And that is when I had my doctorate degree. From there, I became the Mfoome Kiluun. I was only going to Ngiri. I was never going to Nwerong. Then there were certain funds. Sometimes they were in palaces. If the fund decides something and Nwerong accepts that, it become like the way the palace operates, right? Then the fund said that I needed to go to both of these places. And the question be, if I'm Mfoome, I'm going to this, they're non-Mfoome, and so that goes to Ngiri and Nwerong. That's why I became the Fon Kong of Kiluun, because I was going to all these places and I had a voice that I could go to Ngiri and say something. I go to Nwerong and say something. I didn't go out probably hunting for this and for the title. And again, like I'm saying here, most people will look at what you are doing, and what you are doing is going to determine how particular the community will see you. If they had made me the Mfoome like that, and I just come and sat, and I was not showing interest in palace affairs, I was not doing projects, probably the society probably will not even accept me, because I'm not based at home. But I have a more powerful voice because of what I do with the title, versus if I have choose to be like a do-nothing title holder.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. Again, emphasis on what we do in the community. I want to read the comment from Shufai, Dr. Eric Taa. Chris question, he says it's a very educative session. We need more of this presentation, and big kudos to the organizers. Thank you for that comment. But he has a question on, are cowries allowed to be worn by Shufais?
So from what I know, and like these are now going to the nuances in other palaces. I've never seen a place where the Fon honor somebody as a shufai and give that person the cowries. I've never seen that. But am I saying that it's not going to happen? Probably it's going to happen. But cowries, a shufais cannot be wearing cowries. The shufai's wives cannot be wearing cowries. My take is always, if the Fon makes you give you a title, go back and get some due diligence of what you can do and what you cannot do, especially in this social media age. If you start doing certain things before you realize people are putting your pictures and painting you back and forth, and you become on the defensive. And if you are a title holder and they pin you to be on the defensive, a lot of the time, if you are not careful, you are always going to be on the losing side, because you cannot not overpower the voice of social media, especially in this our current dispensation. So that's what I can say about that.
Right. There's a worry about what happens if someone, okay, I'll come to that. Yeah, the question is, what happens if someone, where was that question? What about, what happens if someone gives you a hand, right? Maybe let's say for a shofar, what happens if someone raised a hand? That question, was it deleted? I was just reading it, I can see it now.
I think it's a very important question. There are a lot of people that will not know that there's a big difference. There are a lot of title holders. They are here, they are shofar, they are shea, they are fire here. If you go to a place and somebody sending hands to greet you and you don't know that person, or the person does not even know that you are a shofar, I always advise people, just take it. The person does not know. They are not saying it as a form of disrespect for you. You can take it, then after you tell to the person that this is who I am. We don't greet with a hand. I didn't want to embarrass you. Educate that person. But if you come to a place where somebody knows you very well that you are a shufai, not that you are a fire, not that you are a ya, and they jump, oh yeah, as like a winner, then send a hand to greet you. And most of those types of people, they are doing that for disrespectful purpose. Don't take it. Just stand you and just say, "Abai, I'm going to see another driver for ya. Yeah, you shufai, I'm not let you walk with a lot of it. Just ask them. Has it been in a situation now that you see me and you know that I'm a shofar and you are sending your hand to greet you? Just ask them that, has the Nso tradition gone to this much? They will be ashamed and there will not be a way. Because in the society, you are going to see people that we want to disrespect you. Or some people, you are you are a shofar, they will never even want to acknowledge that you are a ya. They will never want to acknowledge that you are a fire. They will never want to acknowledge that you are a shofar. Again, just know how you behave so that you can gain the respect from those people.
Right. Okay. I would like that, since we have more time, I see there are questions, but I would really appreciate if maybe more people speak up so that I don't read. I think it will make it also lively. So please feel free if you want to speak and come up, while I really thank many of you who are here in case someone is going to drop off soon. But if you have a contribution to make, it will be great to have you speak, right? And I think Shufai was also indicating that if the job don't permit them to wear a cap, which is something that happens, what do they do? I don't know if you want to comment on like Shufais that need to wear cap if they have a job again in the Western world and they don't do that. What would be your comment on that area?
Let me answer that. Then that's a very important question. All of us in the Western world, we work. Your job is going to be considered a private environment for you. You are home. If you sit in your house and you decide not to wear your cap, nobody knows. Most of these things happen. We lay emphasis if you are coming to a place where they are going to be now your community. That's what I emphasize. Your community is and so community that you associate with. If you go to your job, this is your private environment, you don't wear a cap, is very, very acceptable. But if you are coming to your community that you have presented your titleship to them and you say, I'm not going to wear a cap because I don't wear it at my job, that's where the problems comes. So because there are certain jobs that if you go there and you insist that I'm going to start wearing a job, they're probably going to say, it does be the case, we are going to lay you off. And you need the money to feed your family. So I always said jobs are private environments. It's your house is your private environment. Your community that is in sort of community or your sort of traditional environment become your public environment. And you should make the differences between these two types of environments and how you behave. You go to your job, somebody is coming to greet you like your manager, you say, I'm not going to take your hand because I'm a chauffeur. They probably will never understand what you mean. They might take it as a form of disrespect, and it can cost you your job. The funds are not giving this title for people to lose jobs. That's not the reason.
Thank you very much for that clarification. I'm happy Shufai, Professor Daniel has the hand up. I'll allow you to come in.
Greetings to the house, and thank you so much, Fon Kong. The presentation was incredible, incredible. Since I was made a Shufai, what I have learned today is more than what I have learned since I was made a Shufai, because I've got really, insights. So I want to say thank you so much. I really, really, really appreciate, because the idea of title, nobody, even if you are a Shufai or whatsoever, you can claim that you know everything. When I was making a Shufai, for example, I was handed to the Taantoh compound. That is something I didn't even know. They said you belong to the compound, this compound, you know. So to come back to what I raised my hand up is like, for example, I have two issues. I live in a community where we are just very few Cameroonians, and the very few Cameroonians that are here are Francophones. They don't even know what the title is all about or what our tradition is all about. So we have a lot of foreigners. So you find a situation where we go out is difficult, you know. You know how we are, we Africans, for example, how people, just the fact that somebody gave his hands and you didn't take it, it means probably you definitely have a problem with him or this. I'm glad that you gave an answer, which, I really respect so much and I admire. Then the second part is the issue of the cap. You know, like somebody somebody like me, I work in the pharmaceutical industry in biotechnology. And the rule is completely, if we work under very strict rules, you can never wear a cap into the manufacturing plant. Never, ever. You see, so we find a situation where regulations completely prevents us from respecting the tradition. So in these two situations, if you could just add something more for us to learn, I would be so grateful. Not much to say, but just that.
All right. Thank you so much, Shufai. I think I touched in those. The way I want us to look is there's going to be you are going to have your community, and you are going to have your private community and your public community. Your job is going to be your private community. Your home is going to be your private community. You have to, wearing a cap in your private community is going to be at your own, you can choose to or you can choose not to, right? Greeting people with a hand in your private community, you can choose to or you can choose not to. Nobody sees what is there. You can, I always say, you cannot go and see a Shufai at work without wearing a cap and you take their picture and you start sending to social media. The Fon, we frown so much about it. Nwerong, we frown so much about it because those are social media, those are the private environment. You cannot go to a place and you see a greeting somebody, the husband, and they're hawking, and you take a video and you start shooting into, those are people private environment. But again, your public environment, it becomes your community, people who know who you are. And this boils down to what I was saying before. The people that you are going to present your title to become your public environment. And that is where you are going to need that respect. And that's where you are going to exercise those traditional values. Those is within your public environment, right? So that is the way I want us to look at this, because if we don't differentiate public environment from private environment, we are going to get into all this unnecessary tussle. You're going to a Francophone and he's sending a hand and say, I'm not going to greet him. The Francophone probably might not even know what you mean. They might feel like, oh, you are just thinking that because you're a doctor, you don't greet. Sometimes these doctors' title, people don't separate a doctor from the traditional title. And there's a very, very big separation. And again, somebody did ask a question. Are these honorary title holders inherit? Can somebody, if you are a Shufai and the fund gave that title to you, can somebody inherit, of your family inherit your title? If you are a Ya and the fund gave you that title, can somebody inherit? All of these depend on how you are going to. There's a lot of politics when it comes to traditional honorary title holders inheritance. Some of them are inherited, some are not. But there's a lot of politics involved. So by right, are they supposed to be inherited? No. But after the honorary title holders died, some families, they will do everything possible to make sure that that man's or that lady or the Ya legacy lives on. And they're going to go ahead as the fund that we want the legacy of this Ya or Shufai to live on. And they are going to have the successor of that person. There's politics involved in all of this. So that's what I can say about that particular question. The same for a share. If you were given an honorary share, if you want somebody in your family to ever inherit your title, I always tell people, you move to a different echelon, become a Fon Kong or become a Fon Nwerong, so that if you die, then they can take your child to be your successor. If you are given an honorary share and you decide that you are going to stay in that position, a lot of time, if you die, there's no way that they can make somebody to be your successor. So it depends on what you do with your title.
Okay, so I think that is more laying emphasis again on what you do with your title of Fon Kong. Is that because I think if someone is a Shufai and is a great Shufai, then maybe it's likelihood that if the legacy is to continue, it becomes easy for the fund to make that decision. Is that something we can say?
That's absolutely correct.
Okay. Right. Okay. Thank you. There was a question on why the recycling and changing of titles from She to Fi and to Shufais. I don't know if Relindis, we want to expand on that, but it was why the recycling and changing of titles from She to Fi and to Shufais.
Yeah, I won't say recycling. Why? It's probably to a lot of people, they will look at it as an upgrade, right? If the fund gave you a share and you are performing so much into this, I will take, for example, here, there were some people who were share in this community. And when the Fon Kong was coming and they called me and I called these people, okay, you are a share, the Fon Kong is going to go, probably can you welcome the Fon Kong in your home? And those people accepted. Then as they hosted the Fon Kong, and when the Fon Kong was leaving, upgraded them to a Shufai, all of them to a Shufai. That's an upgrade based on what that person has done for that particular community. At the same time, if you are made a share and some people, we're living in the world that money is powerful, believe it or not. There's a lot of stuff that money can do, and you cannot counteract the effects of money in traditional politics. You cannot really say that it doesn't work. Somebody's made a share. If they want now to behave like a Shufai, then they are going to find one way or the other to upgrade from the share to a Shufai, and we just have to accept it the way it is. Before, in most family heads, when a Shufai died, all the males will run away. Currently, if the family head dies, all the males come back to the compound and start fighting. That shows the change that is in the society that we are living in.
Yeah. All right, there are still some questions. We just have maximum 10 minutes and then we'll close the session. Definitely Fon Kong will come back again based on the feedback that is coming in, and we'll appreciate if you share more on this so that we can have that discussion. There's the other question which I think was addressed by Nwerong of recent, but maybe you want to touch on that if that's suitable. It's on. I thought Mfo was a Nso warrior group. Why do we today have Mfo in Bamenda when there is Mfo in Bamenda for Nso people? And how many Mfos are there in Nso? I don't know if you want to touch that topic, Fon Kong.
I'm going to touch the topic from when you are somebody who study people, right? And I know where a lot of this confusion comes from. There is Nso, that is a palace. There's Nso kingdom. That's a group of fondoms that have make up that kingdom. There's a fondom of Nso. There's a kingdom of Nso. The fondom of Nso is where you have the palace in Kimbo. We have the kingdom of Nso, which is all these Fons in division that speak this unique language called Lamso. If you are outside, even in Nso itself, or in Yaoundé or in Europe, in America, somebody cannot come and say, and you say, we cannot do that. We cannot say, we all of us are so because we fall under that kingdom and we speak that unique language, and that is what gives us the power. Fo is a men's group and a most rallying group. And if the Fon gives a Fo in a particular environment, then Fo is not for the fundamental, so then Fo is for everybody that speaks that language. If you start now seeing Fo Kar, Fo Mbiame, Fo Mbokam, Fo Kiluun, outside of Nso, a lot of the time people will call that that's a source of division and unnecessary infighting. That is not needed. That infighting is not needed because Fu Bamenda is for everybody that speak Lamso. Fu Yaoundé is for everybody that speak Lamso. Fu America is for everybody that speak Lamso. Even the non-Lamso speakers like the Oku. Today is a
We can hear you very well.
Okay.
No, we can hear you very well.
Okay. So like today we have I'm the one that started for America here. There's a big occasion here where someone is going to be performing their pumpu. I have a lot of people outside here. They are working and I got up so early. This is not for particular group, it's for everybody who speak Lamso. So most of these food that started going up in certain places was a way to start unnecessary infighting. And even you see when the Fon Kong in Douala started, if somebody listened to Fon Kong said that he does not support that idea because that's how divisions start and infighting start among us. We are all in this forum. There are a lot of people that speak Lamso in this forum. How will you tell that somebody is from Kar and somebody is from Biami? How will you? Why do you want to even go digging where you come from when everybody is so? So that's the way I look at it. And I think what Nwerong said was a way to unite us under that common language. And that is what makes us powerful, is the fact that we are big in number, speaking a unique language makes us powerful, and the elements of division should not be welcome.
Thank you very much, Fon Kong, for that. I think that's what we sort of need in a very crucial time, and of course, going forward as a people, these aspects of unity. I see there are thumbs up and hand claps, so that response you have given, which means everyone all is acknowledged. And because we know it's a Sunday evening, it's an early morning for Fon Kong, who has, he's based in Washington, D.C., and he has taken the time to talk to us this morning. We've already exhausted the time, but if there is anyone who just have some things to say, please feel free. We'll round up in 4 minutes. And then we'll close. We'll definitely communicate the next session. And if there's a topic you want us to go into, that will also be great. Maybe the next one is traditional caps, but if someone has a burning topic that the Nso Traditional Title Holders should be looking forward to bring in some time, please feel free to reach to our Secretary General here, Phi Belgium, who is with us. Our Chief Whip Tangwang from Belgium is also here with us. So if there is anyone who wants to come up, please feel free. I see Phi Berlin, you have your hand up. Come in, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. Of course, I align with all the people that appreciate Fon Kong's presentation here. And I've learned so much. It's incredible. And it still raised a lot of question marks inside of me. But I'm happy to see you in the next session. I just want to make you aware that Phi Belgium has a question in the chat. That is, that is interesting for me as well, this issue. Thank you very much indeed. God bless, sir.
Thank you very much, Phi Berlin. Sure, coming to Phi Belgium question. If no one is also willing, I think the question is, let me see. There are many thanks coming in as well for the presentation. So, okay, Phi Belgium says, if someone is awarded a title, can he or she refuse or denounce it? If yes, what is the protocol to refuse a title? Yeah.
That's a very important question. Phi Berlin is even unfortunately in this our current environment, people are hunting for titles, and there's one person in the United States that was offered a title and the person refused. So there are still few examples. There's no process. You just say you don't want it. And if the lineal head of your family dies and you are thinking that you are going to make a surefire, the best way is just to run away, like we used to do before. Then there's another way to that. Even you are given a title and you accept it, there's somebody that can say they denied that your title. That is the lineal head of your maternal mother. Because Nso has a lot of emphasis on women. Our women are more valuable to us. If the Phi or Shufa or your mother's family said that they don't accept that title, you can force yourself to really have that title. There's going to already a cloud on it. I have there was a Shufa that was made. He was so happy. The lineal head of his mother's family refused the title. He said he cannot. This thing, I worked so hard to have it. But one time he came here and he stayed with me because the title started haunting him and he was running away. This man, I told him that there's no way I can help you. Your mother's family said they don't want it. Now you are saying this title is haunting you. What is the best way? The best way is if you don't want it or you think it's haunting you in that evil way, just do it and run away. After the man left my house, I stayed with him for 3 days. He arrived in his house, he changed his title from a shufai to a pastor. And now he became a pastor. So you can run away from most of those things if they are not favorable for you. So that is probably the way I probably can answer that question.
A quick one.
Apologies. Go ahead.
Sorry, I can't raise my hand.
Yeah.
I myself,
right.
I couldn't raise my hand.
Okay, so I'll just take the cue. There are 4 hands up now. I know we are on time, so I'll just allow, since we have not heard from at least let come in, followed by Shufai, Dr. Eric, then Shufai CC, and then Shufai Wonson will surely come in and maybe wrap also for us. So come in, please. So those are the last hands we'll take. Come in.
Okay, thank you very much, Taa Mfoome. Thank you very much, Fon Kong, for coming to educate us on this topic, because this had been topics that have been causing a lot of problems. I've learned a lot from this session, and thank you for the education. But I just wanted to ask one thing, because I myself have been asking questions if some compounds can also gives someone a title of a fire, sorry, not a title of fire, a title of a ya and she. And like you said, because I've seen some shufais wearing so yes, that means wearing cowries. And when I went in digging to ask the question, why are those shufais wearing cowries when cowries are reserved for some particular people? Their explanation was like it was that compound was a fondom before, and that's why they are wearing cowries. I don't know if there is more detailed explanation to that. Thank you very much.
All right. There are two questions. Let's talk about cowries first. And let me take a little bit to Taantoh. There are shufai in Taantoh that wears cowries that we know, right? Well, there's a shufai, Ndzeen and shufai Taantoh. They wear cowries. We know that. There's a shufai or Mbam, Ndzeen wears cowries, right? But most of these things is coming to ordinary. There are fires and shufai from other fandoms. They wear cowries depending on how the fandom approach their things, right? Because so it's not only one particular fandom, it's a lot of fandom. But if you have made a shufai, an honorary shufai, and you decide that, oh, if shufai Ndzeen is wearing cowries, I'm also going to wear it. If this thing, I'm going to also do those things. You can do whatever you want. I have a lot of experience, more than many people do. There are people who have worn cowries in this place. Or sometimes call them and say that sometimes you are just digging your grave without me. These things kills. Especially you are, because you have a lot of people that are jealous of you and they're going to pass behind all those things to start wanting your back. So my take is always that respect what is given to you. Just put your emphasis on what you are doing to the community so that the community can give you the respect that you deserve. The cowries are not what is going to make you a shofar. The porcupines are not what is going to make you a shofar or a ya. It's a title that the fund has given it to you and how you carry yourself within the community that you belong. I don't know if that is clear a little bit, yeah.
Thank you, Fon Kong. That's really clear. Thank you.
Okay, and the next question was, there are big compounds that if the big compound is growing, they are going to also give a shufai somewhere. They call the share of those compounds. So a file of a compound can also make their own file and present to the fund that the compound has overgrown. And those compounds that they are like the offshoots of big compounds, they are more powerful because they can do sacrifices that those children of that compound, they don't have to come to the big compound to do their sacrifice. They have their short, they have their mechan, they'll go there, they'll do those sacrifices. The fire of a big compound like that can also intune they always start like a shade. You got a big shade there. From there, they'll uplift that shade to a fire, and they become a share of that compound. Some big compounds they have their ayahs, they have their angaiwe, they can give those titles. But if you are from that big compound, the shufai cannot call you and say, I'm going to make you my honorary ya. I'm going to make you my honorary share. They don't have those powers. Those powers are only reserved for the fund.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, so let's continue. Shufai, Dr. Eric, nice to have you. Please come in.
Thank you so very much. I am struggling to contain my excitement with this very, very educative session. It's just like I feel this should be going on for like the entire day, and I'm not gonna, I'm driving to church right now, but I really want to say that I don't know if I've ever gotten any opportunity as such to really have a deep dive into a lot of these things. Like there are many things that I have even been confronted with. I remember during my graduation, it was a live stream, and as we were walking up the stage, we had to greet the dean and all one or the president of the university. And when I did that, people watched it back from where I'm resident, and when I walked back, they're like, okay, You don't shake hands with your people here, but you went out there and you shook hands with, So I think I was like, I couldn't explain, but this session has actually made me to understand, when they talk about the public and private environment or work environment and stuff like that, which I truly, truly appreciate. I mean, I earlier sent a chat in, but I said, you know what, let me really bring my voice as well to appreciate the organizers and to say, please, you guys should keep up with this. I think I've reserved my seat for future sessions and I will never miss a minute of this. It is so informative, so educative. And I think this is a strong tool to keep the Nso tradition, standing strong and going forward in the right way. And without us, making all these mistakes, with the Android generation we are in, we can always make a lot of mistakes that go against the tradition without knowing. So thank you all for organizing this. Just let me know when the next session is coming up. My seat will be right at the front. Thank you so much.
Great. Very positive words. Yeah, thank you so much, Fon Kong. Thanks again. I think everyone is appreciating this. We are very happy it's creating the impact that we want. So let's wrap up with the last two hands. That's Shufai Sisi will come in, and after that, Shufai won't so long come in. Shufai Sisi, go ahead.
I still want. I still want to thank everybody once more. And my great thanks really goes to Taa Mfoome Kiluun, because I also want just to kind of express my my joy, that with this type of educative sessions, it is actually going to help a lot of I think a lot of us, including title holders, some title holders, to actually kind of know, to actually know what we are dealing with, because I equally believe that once you are made, given that title, it means that you have to do everything possible, to actually learn, the Nso culture. And I do kind of believe that through this medium, we are going to kind of go far, and we are going to know the culture itself and then go ahead and then try to preserve it. So I just wanted to once more kind of give my appreciations to you, Taa Mfoome Party, and at least for actually kind of organizing this to happen, and also Taa Mfoome Kiluun.
Thank you very much, Shufai Sisi, for the words. We are wrapping with the last person, and if there are questions, we'll come back to it. So I'll allow Shufai once so long to maybe have the questions, and also we'll appreciate if you maybe also round it up with some words that will suit the closing of the session today. Thank you, Shufai, coming.
Yeah, once more, I want to thank you, Mfoome Bati, and the executive of the Nso Title Holders in Europe for organizing this. This has been a very useful session, and most of us have learned a lot. Thank you, Fon Kong, again, Doctor, for taking your time, sacrificing a whole day to teach us. It's really been very appreciative, and we've learned quite a lot. And we'll be looking forward for the next session, as the other people have said. Once it is known, I'll put it in my calendar and make sure that I attend. Thank you very much. Then one thing too, I want to plead with the elders who are in this house, who are not title holders, to help us teach our children our culture. Now, we grew up learning our culture by looking at what our elders do. So there was no school to teach culture. You just see what the elders do, you follow a method and you learn it that way. One problem we've been having in our community is the elders want us to teach our children our culture, but they themselves are not showing the children that culture. So if they can teach by example, it will be very helpful. And when some of us try to correct somebody who has done something wrong, they take it as a challenge, which is not necessarily the case. So it's I reach a stage where some of us just you go into a hall, sit wherever they show that you sit, you just sit and just watch things go. And then later on, they will be asking us to teach the children the culture. So I'll just have that played with the elders to help us to the children our culture. We will feel so I yita ya kinyo. Pata for bom inari yita king my way kinja. We're very receptive to that. Then I just want to touch on a question about refusing titles that came up. I think I had answered that question in our forum some time ago. That how do you, Fon Kong has explained the various ways you can refuse a title. But I just wanted to add something because the way it was asked last time is different from this time. It was whether if you go to the palace and the Fon calls you to give you a title, you can just stand there and refuse, which I said, no, it cannot happen like that, out of respect. I have a child who he escorted 1 year to the palace. I think the year came from America to the palace, and then he was made a shufai. So, and the child came back, met me. I'm from the mother's lineage. And I say, okay, this is like this. Think what you think, go and meet your mother, discuss it with your mother. If your mother accepts, okay, you can go ahead and then accept the title because I'm like a tie I could have been like a tie to him. So, and then we then advise him, which in general, when the mother said, no, go back to the palace and tell the palace that this title is more than what I can take at the moment. They gave him a shufai, but they said, no, it's to my family. I said, it's too big for me for one reason or other. Please, I want to return it. He went privately and then told the fund that if he would appreciate the title of a share, and then he was given a share. So basically, you cannot stand there and just refuse the title, but you can go back and then come the next day. If you don't really want it, come the next day, boon fund, and then tell the fund that, please, this is more than me. The fund will appreciate and accept that. So that I just wanted to touch on that. And then I think that is all I have to say. Thank you very much again, Fon Kong. Thank everybody who took time to attend. And we are looking forward for the next session.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm happy that you learned something, because our fear in this presentation is people don't learn something. Then the second fear is always like, you may present like that, somebody will feel like you've spotted me and you attack me. Because when all these deficiencies we are talking about, a lot of it is from ignorance of people don't know. And I really appreciate all of you for listening, because who we are is our Nso culture and tradition. Even you are not from Nso and you are given a Nso title, it's good for you to learn what that title means, because people will not say that you are not from Nso, I'm not going to ask you anything. People will ask you questions, but it's good for you to learn what that title means so that you can give appropriate answers to people, and that's how the people will respect you. With that, I sincerely appreciate you so much for your time, and let me not take too much of the time. Again, thank you so much. And I work with Taa Mfoome Europe. We have worked so much in a lot of great projects together, and I mean, we have really worked so much, and I think this is another new avenue for us to work in educating our community. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Fon Kong. Always a pleasure working with you and having you. I want to take the opportunity to thank everyone for making this possible. If you were not here, we wouldn't have had this presentation and the discussion. Definitely we'll be coming back, but we'll close for now. We have a recording. We'll share that for you to pass along for those who missed the session, and we'll continue the conversation, and let's take this and make it useful. Very weird and fair, and our parents mostly very fair. Yeah.
Very fair.
Taa Mfoome.
Hello.
Thank
Taa
you.
Mfoome.